Righto, we return. We return with...
Having not been nuked off the face of the earth yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. Or exposed to your uranium. Listen for the...
If uranium goes up if uranium on eBay goes up in value, it's because it's being used up. Okay. Get in there. Sell.
Financial tip.
Slice it up.
Wow.
Slice it up.
Like financial tip-off after financial tip-off.
Unbelievable.
We should be money-saving expert in this.
We absolutely should be. Am I entering the motoring menopause?
I don't know. Are you having hot flushes?
A little bit, yeah. I think I am. Right, this is it, right?
Okay.
So,
hit me with this one. Not literally.
I like the same movies I did when I were a whippersnapper.
Aye.
I like the same music.
Mm-hmm.
I like the same food.
Yeah.
I like a lot of the same stuff. Okay?
Yeah.
That hasn't changed.
From your formative years.
Hasn't changed.
Yeah.
Why am I changing my tastes and opinions, not just on cars themselves, but on car culture and car driving behaviour? I don't get this. Because what it is now, it's like, if I hear someone drive past my house making a load of noise, or they've got like a big farty exhaust on, or they're playing loud music, or whatever, I have a bit of a tut and an eye roll about it. I have a little bit of twitch of the curtain. I don't mind it. I admitted to that. I admit to it. I do.
Fair enough.
Go and twitch the curtain. And I'm finding that, like, I think a lot of us kind of, we picture if we won the Euro Millions. Then we think, if I won the Euro Millions on Friday.
Yeah.
If I played
Saturday.
Is it Saturday? I don't know. If I so you got to be in it to win it.
To win it, as they say.
If I won all them millions, what would I buy?
What would you buy? It's always because it's like always been.
Changing.
And now it's like
keeps changing loads.
Your hormones are ruling the roost.
And it's like now
that
I don't feel like a passion for that kind of dangerousness that I used to.
Yeah. Can I posit an explanation for this?
Absolutely.
Because I feel a bit the same. Now, like when we were growing up, if you got your quick car, even if you haven't got a quick car, if you just got your loud, obnoxious kind of car to drive quickly, it was like a Fiat Uno, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And you might put a loud exhaust on it.
Yeah.
And ultimately it had like 60 horsepower and you could scream through the village like Billy-O, wanging the gear changes and flat shifting, whatever you wanted. And you were barely over the speed limit, let's be honest, even with the most aggressive driving.
Okay.
And I'm the same, like I hear, now like the key ones at the moment for me in the village that I hear, 5-pot Focuses, so STs or RSs. I think there's a A45 AMG that goes through doing the WAP gear changes. And I feel I'm a bit curtain twitchy as well, but I think it's a genuine thing, because I know if I'm hearing that A45 doing a third gear change through the village, I'm like, what speed are you actually doing? Because I know how capable these cars are now. And I think part of it, I'm not saying it's all rational, but I think part of it is a rational sort of fear of how fast cars are now. And if you hear one going through the village loudly and speedily or up the road, you know that person can come out of that junction, floor it and be illegal and dangerous within seconds, whereas that wasn't maybe the case when we were driving around in shonky old Unos or Escorts. Or that's how I feel anyway. I feel there's a certain amount of, I don't want to justify it completely, because I think some of it is a bit like your taste is changing, it's all different, but you know, they just scare me. That's what I'm trying to get at. The noises scare me because of what they mean.
I argue dangerous at any speed, okay?
Yeah, true.
Because cars are a bit safer now, safer for people inside, a bit safer for people on the outside. And the fastest I've pretty much ever seen a vehicle go through town, and I'm talking like residential areas, was a 1 litre Nova. You know, because...
Yeah, because you had to just...
Because, like, and that was stupid.
Yeah.
I don't applaud, or at the time I thought that was one of the scariest things I've ever seen, and I never ever want to be in that
relive
position
that again,
or ever be near anyone who does that.
Yeah.
But I argue that if you're doing 50 or whatever, like you can get up to speed. You can get up to speed in a car, and go blasting down. There's plenty of long streets within villages and towns and stuff like that.
Yeah.
To be absolutely dangerous.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure I buy that argument as much.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, when a car's being really loud and obnoxious, it's not necessarily like the sheer pace it's going at. It can be the sheer pace it seems to be going at.
Yeah,
and
true.
also junctions.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't come down to acceleration, does it? It comes down to like just how completely reckless you are.
Yeah, and attention and that kind of stuff. Yeah.
And I find it really strange, because I can tell that I think differently, behave differently, and I apply a double standard, and I'm really angry at myself that I do that, because I sometimes floor my Jeep.
Yeah, with the big
and listen to the V8 and stuff like that, and
then you justify it
like an absolute sad case. I think people are impressed when I do it.
It is quite an impressive sound, to be fair.
And this is the thing, when it's your mates.
Yeah.
It's different, and it shouldn't be.
Yeah, that's true.
And this is why I can sense this mass hypocrisy in my own mind.
Yeah.
Which is like, well, it's okay when I do it. It's okay when my friends do it. But if I hear outside, not in my backyard,
yeah. For anybody you don't know.
When I see it or when I witness it,
I
have this really kind of negative, pessimistic reaction to the people.
Yeah.
And I see cars that I should like, and I kind of think, oh, it's a bit chavvy.
Yeah.
And it's like an Impreza estate.
Yeah.
On gold wheels. It's like, that's a nice car.
Yeah.
And in the 90s, I would have aspired to it.
Yeah.
And now I'm saying that's a bit chavvy.
Well, I quite like it. Although they are being chavved, I have to say, I'm slightly worried about it. It always used to be the saloons that were buried and chavved and nastied up, and it seems like even the wagons are starting to get hit by it now. But
they are.
I know what you mean. Yeah, just even in its normal state.
And I see the newer cars that people buy and what they do with them.
Yeah.
And I've seen these stanced cars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And if I'm in a good way, I'm amazed and pleased and I'm happy, and I'm like, that is brilliant. It grabs your attention.
Yeah.
It's a little bit silly, it's a little bit ridiculous, makes you think, upsets you, whatever. But sometimes my gut reaction is, I don't like it, and I don't like the people.
Yeah.
And I don't like that about myself.
But we're all a bit like that, aren't we? At times, aren't we all a bit, like I say, hypocritical? A bit sort of, I don't know. If I turned up with a stance car, you'd be like, oh, all right, man, that's a good. And you would you'd find the good in it, maybe.
But that's the old, you excuse your friends.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean about the hypocrisy of it, yeah.
And I just wonder whether or not my passion at its root has dissipated, and what I'm doing is I'm applauding my friends who still seem to have that and can see it and can do it.
Yeah.
I worry that's what I'm doing.
That you got to find yourself again.
Yeah.
Like a new you.
The old me, maybe.
Or the old you. Or translate the old you into a modern you at the moment.
Yeah, that's what I want to be. I want to be back in that mindset. I miss that mindset. I miss the energy and the drive and the need to do things that I used to have. And now I just kind of oh God, I cringe at the idea of doing an engine conversion, because it's a bit of a pain. And I'm like,
I did worry when we had that conversation. I was a bit sort of what's going on in your head here?
And I desire new cars because I've not got to get an MOT for 3 years and worry about it breaking and stuff like that. And it's really strange, desires that I have that I used to not do that. I used to be a different, felt like a different person.
Yeah.
And I don't want to call it maturity because I don't think it's fair to call it maturity.
Yeah, it's this is the natural progression from that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be maturity, wouldn't it? You're essentially saying, well, one day we'll grow up and get to this stage. And you're saying you don't want it to be like that
I don't want it because I think that applying maturity to cars is silly and it's conceptually wrong.
Yeah, true.
Because cars are childish things.
Yeah, they're there for fun.
Yeah, that you literally get in and drive this potential death trap and around. And
everyone thinks that's normal.
Try to impress other people with them, and it's crazy.
Yeah, on the face of it, yeah, exactly. Wow, that's a deep and sort of. I don't know how you can apply, like you say, kind of how you can. I don't want to use these awkward, like, how you can recontextualize your original sort of feelings and thoughts about cars. And...
Do you relate to this? Is this something you feel like that you don't like? There's a different rule set for you now.
I don't think so. No, I don't know. I'm not very good at analysing it. What do you think? Do you think so? Do you think about me?
Well, I don't know.
I'm not very good at this. I mean, I just do what I do.
I know you're a curtain twitcher because you've got like lads that park
the car park not far away, and that's it.
Rev their diesels. Makes you really angry. But then,
well, I've always joked, haven't I, that if there were V8s and twin turboed straight sixes revving on the car park, I might get a bit annoyed if it were very loud and very late. But I'd be a lot happier than if it were people not bouncing their Astra diesels off the rev limiter. I mean, it's just
sad. It's so
sad. It is.
But is it sad, or is it actually like, well, if I was them, I'd do the same?
Yeah. Was it that someone was curtain twitching in the 90s, going, listen at these lads trying to rev their?
It used to be like wheel spinning out
MPI cars. What about a set of carbs on that? Like
I saw people twitching their curtains for my behaviour.
Yeah.
I'd have me like bass going in my Cavalier or
maybe
something like
it's
that, and I'd see people look at. And they do the deliberate curtain twitch.
Yeah.
Your old school curtain twitch.
Yeah.
I'm opening my curtains and having a look.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I've seen
what on earth? I can hear what you're doing now.
Yeah.
And then you're kind of like, you better not do that. 'Cause,
Maybe it's just a rite of passage that you just have to go through this. You become a curtain twitcher regardless of how you feel.
They say that young men, and maybe young women too, in their 20s are all about boundary pushing.
Yeah.
And maybe it's that.
Yeah.
And maybe you just get
past that, regardless of how you feel about your cars. You just naturally, the boundary pushing abates slightly.
Yeah, like 20 years later, you just kind of don't understand why you were thinking of doing those things.
Like, isn't that a bit pointless?
I know.
Yeah.
But I'd like to hear from the listeners. On this subject, and maybe we'll revisit again.
Comment.
Maybe we'll have some introspection on the whole issue.
It would be interesting to hear about that. Yeah, and how, as you get older. Yeah, do things change? Are you a curtain twitcher as well? How do you stay happy? I mean, I feel pretty happy about cars and stuff. I mean, but I still curtain twitch. I still get a bit irritated by.
I worry, and I think this is why I relate it to the menopause, and I don't mean that in a the menopause is an awful thing
in a derogatory way.
It's a chauvinistic thing. It's just that's for lads. That's just for lads. It's like that's like
for clickbait. That is.
Is that what it's like? It's basically middle-age crisis.
Yeah, true.
And I feel like time's running out for me in cars.
Yeah, I definitely. Well, I feel that, but I think for different reasons. I'm worried about the end of petrol, and I'm like, I've got to get these things in the bag before the end of petrol.
It's an excited one for you. It's I want to do it.
Yeah.
Whereas for me, it's like I'm worried I'm just going to stop caring.
Is it kind of like? Maybe is one option like you got to get back in the saddle sort of thing. Like, is it? There's no criticism to the GCIA because I love the GCIA, but. Is it that you've just had one car for a long time, you kind of got to a place that you like it and it's cool and you don't really want to do anything anymore? Is it that maybe a project would reignite the sort of, get your juices flowing as what do I want to do with this? What's my, how do I feel about stuff?
Okay, that's, now you say this.
Yeah.
This picks something else up. I feel a little embarrassed about being a modified car owner. I feel a little bit of embarrassment in certain social situations.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it's childish sometimes, or people see it as childish.
Yeah.
Or silly, or it has no point. Yeah. And that really bothers me because I always think about cars and modifying. That's all I think about all the time. But I also, at the same time...
But you think about, you kind of I wouldn't say worry, but you think about what people think about it, don't you? Rather than, do I like it? Well, that's it then.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is going to be an impediment, I think, to doing what you want or finding what you want to do. I think it is going to be it's going to be not a problem, that sounds horrible, but it's going to make the process harder, isn't it? Because you're always second guessing yourself the whole time, like, well, what would other people think if I did that? But I mean, you can modify I mean, like we talked about it many times. We talked about it today. Jonathan Ward and the Icon stuff. Yeah. That is the definition of modified, really.
And I love his vehicles.
Yeah, but you wouldn't drive one. You couldn't drive one.
But there's something about me that feels in like my lifestyle and some of the people that I associate with and stuff like that, and some of the work that I do, that if I was to roll up
in one of them,
an Icon, that there would be a kind of like...
That's a bit showy.
Like, he's a bit of a chav or something. Like, they wouldn't get it.
Yeah.
They wouldn't get it.
So we've got to build you a sleeper?
I don't know.
Would that solve the problem?
I mean, there's part of me deep down which kind of like almost wishes I'd just buy like a diesel Vauxhall Insignia and stop caring.
No.
Because it would just be so socially acceptable. It would just be so normal. Like everyone would just be like, you just like get a new one every few years, and they're like, oh, it's nice, isn't it? Oh, yeah, and you'd be like, yeah, I got a heated
I don't know whether we should turn this off right now. It's dark thoughts, this.
Just being honest. Just being honest. And there's another part of me which wants to hoon around in like a
do something ridiculous
coupe with a diesel in the front.
Yeah.
And terrorise the streets and just like be crazy.
But maybe that's the answer. Maybe you've got to do one of the two, and you can't do the first one, so you have to do the last one. Like if you're worried about what people think, there's no point being half-arsed, is there?
I think that's why
you just got to go for it.
When I saw that hot rod, the amazing hot rod, I had an existential crisis.
Yeah,
because there was a guy. He looked a bit older than me, and he was just having absolutely didn't care what anyone.
Yeah, he was doing it. He was just doing it,
and I love that when I see it.
Well, you can do that. You can do it. This is what I'm saying. I think you need a project. I mean, it's a bit hard when
you've got a terrace street.
Yeah, you've got a terrace street and all this. Although if it was small enough, maybe we could get it down the alleyway bit at the back. But I think, I don't know. I know what he's saying, but I think more rather than less is the answer. Less would be the Insignia diesel. More is just go for it.
Well, I'm gonna.
But I know that's easy to say. I don't know.
I'm gonna try and be better. I'm proactive on this now.
Okay.
I'm not gonna judge.
Yeah.
I'm not going to think bad things about people when they modify cars. I'm going to reflect on myself, and I'm going to go, yes, it's an expression, it's self-actualization, it's showmanship, it's all those things, and there's nothing wrong with being silly. And you know what?
Yeah.
If you get to 50 and you're still acting like an 8-year-old, then all the better for you.
Yeah, I think so. It's good. It's a nice and healthy thing. Yeah. I think, I mean, we've talked about it in the past, like, you can see modified cars that aren't, like, the Euro thing is not me, but I can appreciate the work that goes into it, and I think that's healthy. You can be sort of critical inside yourself. You can repulse inside yourself, well, like that, but you can still appreciate the work that's gone into it. I think that's for me. It's a good versus bad modification. I don't mean stylistically. I mean in the execution. It's the process of the. If someone's bolted some really nasty fiberglass front bumper or cable tied it to a Subaru Impreza or something, it just looks bad, and it doesn't. I don't think it deserves the respect, doesn't. But if someone's done it proper, even though I don't like that kind of thing, I think you can. If it's done well, I think you can appreciate it. I think that's healthy to. You know what I mean? Like even
having standards.
Yeah. Standards. And it's not. That's it. And it's standards, but it's not standards about the type of modification, just how it's been done. Like there's like we just moaned about the diesel Astras on the car park. Some of them are bloody clean. Now I would never have a diesel Astra or a diesel Vectra, but they are clean, and I respect the amount of money and the amount of time they put into doing them. So. I think that keeps you healthy. Maybe I don't know.
I need inspiration.
You do.
I do, and I also wonder if it's like modern car culture is like, because manufacturers now make them look modified from the factory.
Yeah, it's a lot harder to if you just want something just a bit.
It's like when
modified.
you see like, and someone has got, and you can just tell they're aftermarket wheels. Like you can just tell somehow.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
I think sometimes you have to just go all out, because I think it's like you say, it's like when someone puts Audi wheels on a Mark IV Golf. He's like, yes, they might be VAG group, but it's just instantly recognisable as not fitting the car.
Yeah.
And I think so if you're going to modify, you got to have a vision and you got to go for it, rather than piecemealing. So maybe if I just do it a little bit quietly and not mess around too much, just go for it.
I think that the car scene of the 90s, it was like our punk scene. It was like
it was
rock
expressive
and roll.
and it was individualistic.
It was
and
like the hippie thing in the 70s. It was like that for us. And I do think that as you get older, you worry that clinging on to it a bit, or still thinking that way, or still desiring that way, in a modern world, I think you start to get a bit too bothered about what people think about it.
Yeah. And you feel like maybe you should be more conservative with a small c. You should naturally be doing that as you get older. That's the kind of, like you say, maturity tells you should become maturity and conservative with a small c. Going hand in hand.
I don't really have many like friends with modified cars anymore. It used to be all my
it's like everybody.
Now
true.
they've all got like lease cars and like modern unmodified cars. And they're not interested in that anymore.
Maybe the problem is that in some respects you have to do less to stand out, and that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
Like, the most anyone's going to modify these days is they're going to put a RevoTune box in their diesel BMW or Audi or whatever, or, get a bit more out of it, maybe change the wheels, or plasti dip your wheels or something
buy
like that.
Buy a special edition.
Or buy a special edition,
That's the new modifying for the next generation, I'm afraid. That's what's happening. It's buy a special edition.
And maybe that doesn't push you far enough. Maybe that's... So when you do something outlandish, it's so far removed, there's no spectrum. There's like normal, there's looks normal but it's got 50 horsepower more and some maybe lowered if you're lucky. And then you've got something completely unique and there's nothing that bridges that gap, which maybe makes you feel a bit more out there, a bit more sort of weird, a bit more like people are looking at you, because there's no in between, there's no sort of...
Exactly, there's no segue between the two. But here's the thing, right? This is what I think a lot of it boils down to.
Yeah.
Location.
Yeah.
I love the Stoke-on-Trent area in the Moorlands because everyone's a bit car crazy around here, and it's refueling me a bit.
Yeah,
in a way.
you are getting like that.
Refueling me a bit in a way. But if I lived in LA, I wouldn't have. If I lived in Vegas, I wouldn't have any problem.
Yeah, true.
Because it's so normal to be an older guy who's into
a bit wacky
fun, wacky cars. It's more normal over there to be that way around. In fact,
we've lost it a bit here.
But over here, it's always like, if you're into cars and you're old, you kind of have bone shape.
Yeah, you're a classic car enthusiast. That's like all you're allowed to be, isn't it? Yeah. We need to buck that trend. We need to start
popping your collar on.
Popping the collar, like a granddad wouldn't do.
Boom.
That's it.
No
folded down collars for us.
Yeah, take that, Babylon.
Yeah. What's Babylon?
Policeman.
Oh right, thanks. Yeah. Take that, Babylon. Sorted.
Top one, nice one. Get sorted.
Mint. So I don't think we have sorted that problem, but we'd like to hear what you think. If you want to comment below this on YouTube or the SoundCloudy thing, you can comment as well. And we'd love to know if you're also feeling a bit lost in the modified sea at the moment.
Schoolless.
Like a school of fish.
Mint youth.
Mint.
Righto.
Right. Let's scram. No, let's get scram.
Get scram? I never heard that one.
Isn't scram food though? Let's get scram.
Scran. That's a localism.
Yeah, I've never heard that one. This might be in local on the lie.
All right.
Anyway. Excellent end to this.
There we go.
We'll leave it at that. And we'll be back with episode 20 very soon.
Ta-ra!
Bye.